Have you ever tried to plant a seed in soil that was already crowded with weeds? No matter how fertile the ground, nothing new can grow until the old overgrowth is cleared away. In the same way, your old self, your fears, doubts, limitations, and past failures must die before the new, empowered version of you can rise. Today, we step into the sacred truth that letting go is not loss, it is liberation. Your next chapter cannot begin while you cling to what no longer serves you. Transformation begins with a deep and honest awareness of who you are and what has been shaping your life until now. Many people go through life unconsciously, repeating the same habits and thought patterns without ever stopping to question why they act the way they do or why certain outcomes continue to repeat. These patterns can be subtle, hidden beneath layers of routine, comfort, and familiarity, yet they dictate your responses to situations, your decisions, and ultimately the trajectory of your life. To recognize your old patterns is to shine a light on the areas of your life where stagnation has set in, where fear has dictated your choices, and where past failures have been allowed to define your present. It requires courage to look honestly at yourself, to admit that some parts of your behavior or thinking no longer serve you, and to confront the uncomfortable truths that have been ignored or suppressed for years. Awareness is not about judgment or self-criticism. It is a compassionate act of acknowledging what exists, understanding the origin of these patterns, and seeing clearly the impact they have had on your life. By doing so, you lay the foundation for change because you cannot transform what you refuse to see. Recognizing your old patterns allows you to differentiate between the automatic response that no longer serve you and the conscious choices that align with your growth. It is in this recognition that the first seeds of your new self are planted, for only when you know what is holding you back can you begin the deliberate process of releasing it. It also brings freedom, because awareness is a form of empowerment. Once you see a limitation, a fear, or a destructive habit for what it truly is, you no longer remain its victim. Instead, you stand at the threshold of possibility, capable of choosing differently, capable of creating a life that reflects the best version of yourself, rather than the constraints of your past. This process is ongoing and requires daily attention, reflection, and honesty. Each day offers new opportunities to notice when old patterns resurface, when thoughts creep in that pull you back into old habits, and when fear tempts you to retreat into comfort zones. The practice of awareness is like tending a garden. It requires consistent observation, weeding out of what does not serve, and nurturing of what fosters growth. It is not a one-time realization, but a continual act of mindfulness and deliberate self-examination. Surrendering to the divine plan is a continuation of this journey, a step that moves you from awareness into alignment and trust. Once you recognize the patterns that no longer serve you, you realize that there is a greater intelligence at work in the universe, guiding you toward your highest potential. Surrender is not passivity. It is an active choice to release the illusion of control and to trust that life has a flow, a rhythm, and a purpose that surpasses your immediate understanding. When you resist the divine plan, when you insist on forcing outcomes according to your limited perspective, you create tension, frustration, and obstacles. Surrender allows you to move with life rather than against it, to align your intentions with a larger vision that may not yet be fully visible. This does not mean abandoning effort or responsibility. It means performing your actions with diligence and excellence while releasing attachment to results, trusting that the universe will bring forth the outcomes that are truly in your highest good. Surrender also cultivates patience and humility. It teaches you that while you may have the desire to control every aspect of your journey, the most profound growth comes when you allow the natural unfolding of events to guide you. By embracing the divine plan, you acknowledge that there is wisdom in timing, in circumstances, and in the interconnectedness of all things, and that every challenge, setback, or delay has a purpose beyond immediate comprehension. Trust becomes the bridge between awareness and manifestation. When you surrender, you open yourself to insights, opportunities, and synchronicity that would be invisible to a mind consumed with resistance and fear. You begin to notice patterns of guidance, signs that point you in the right direction, and moments that confirm you are exactly where you are meant to be, even if it does not yet look the way you imagined. Surrender also deepens your connection to yourself, to others, and to the world around you. It removes the heavy burden of trying to micromanage life, freeing your energy to focus on growth, creativity, and contribution. In this state of alignment, your actions become more inspired, your decisions more clear, and your presence more magnetic, as you are no longer scattered by resistance but grounded in the certainty that you are moving with the flow of a purposeful and benevolent universe. Surrender teaches you that life is not about rigid control or relentless striving but about conscious participation in a larger orchestration, trusting that the patterns and events you once feared are actually shaping you into the person you are destined to become. It is a practice that requires constant vigilance and reflection, reminding yourself daily that you are a co-creator with the universe, capable of contributing your intentions while remaining open to guidance beyond your own mind. By surrendering to the divine plan, you transform fear into faith, limitation into possibility, and uncertainty into a fertile ground for growth and manifestation. These two principles work hand in hand. Awareness of your old patterns illuminates the areas that need transformation, while surrender to the divine plan ensures that the process of change is guided, purposeful, and harmonious. Awareness without surrender can lead to frustration and self-criticism, while surrender without awareness may result in passive drifting. Together, they create a balance of insight and trust, of action and receptivity, allowing you to consciously release what no longer serves you and step fully into the life that awaits your courage and commitment. The journey requires patience, consistency, and faith. Yet it promises a liberation so profound that the new version of yourself can emerge naturally, unhindered by the weight of old patterns and aligned with the intelligence of the universe. Each day, as you practice recognition and surrender, you strengthen your ability to navigate challenges with grace, to respond to setbacks with wisdom, and to embrace opportunities with clarity. In this way, your old self gradually dissolves, not through force or struggle but through conscious choice, alignment, and the trust that life is unfolding in your favor. It is through this ongoing practice that the transformation becomes permanent, not temporary, and that the new self rises fully, confident, empowered, and in harmony with the rhythm of the universe. Awareness and surrender are the twin pillars of transformation, guiding you from the limitations of your past into the limitless possibility of your future, where every thought, word, and action reflects the best version of yourself and the life you are destined to create. Fear is one of the most powerful forces that holds the old self in place. It is subtle and pervasive, often disguised as caution, doubt, or hesitation. Yet, it quietly dictates the choices we make and the paths we follow. To release fear is to reclaim the power that has been surrendered to imagined threats and limiting beliefs. Every thought that begins with "I cannot," "I am not enough," or "what if" is a threat that ties you to the old self, reinforcing patterns of limitation and self-doubt. Recognizing fear is the first step toward liberation. Awareness alone, however, is not enough. It must be followed by deliberate action to release the hold it has on your mind and heart. This requires courage, consistency, and conscious effort to replace fear-based thinking with affirmations and beliefs that support growth, abundance, and possibility. The mind, when trained carefully, becomes a powerful ally. By speaking words of affirmation and visualizing outcomes aligned with your highest self, you create new neural pathways that strengthen confidence and diminish fear. Every time you confront fear directly, no matter how small the challenge, you weaken the old patterns that kept you stagnant and reinforce the new identity that you are building. Releasing fear also requires understanding its origin. Often fear is learned, inherited, or accumulated through past experiences that no longer apply to your present reality. By examining where fear comes from, you separate it from the truth of who you are and what you are capable of achieving. You recognize that fear is a story, not a fact, and by changing the narrative, you change your experience of life. It is a process of reclaiming your authority over your thoughts and emotions, refusing to allow past conditioning to dictate your future. With each conscious act of release, your confidence grows, your resilience strengthens, and the space for new possibilities expands. Fear is not eliminated instantly, but gradually, through persistent practice of awareness, affirmation, and courage, it loses its power, allowing your new self to step forward unburdened by doubt and limitation. Forgiveness is a cornerstone of transformation and a vital practice for allowing the new self to emerge. Holding on, resentment, guilt, or anger keeps the old self alive and anchored in the past. Every grievance you carry, whether toward yourself or others, is like a weight chained to your soul, preventing freedom, joy, and forward momentum. To forgive is not to condone wrongdoing or dismiss experiences that caused pain. It is to release the energy that binds you to those experiences and to reclaim your own peace. Forgiveness clears mental, emotional, and spiritual space, creating fertile ground for growth and transformation. When you forgive, you sever the ties to past mistakes and conflicts, allowing the wisdom learned from those experiences to remain while discarding the destructive emotional charge attached to them. This act of release is a declaration that your life is no longer controlled by past injustices, regrets, or perceived failures. Forgiveness also extends to yourself. Many people carry self-blame or shame for actions or choices they wish they could undo. By offering yourself forgiveness, you acknowledge that mistakes are part of the human experience, that learning and growth are inherent in every misstep, and that your worth is not defined by past actions. Self-forgiveness is a radical act of self-love and empowerment that allows you to fully embrace the present and step into your potential without being tethered to guilt or regret. It creates emotional clarity, which is essential for making conscious choices aligned with your highest self. Practicing forgiveness also transforms relationships and interactions. When you let go of judgment and resentment, you approach others with compassion and understanding rather than fear and defensiveness. This creates an environment of trust, openness, and collaboration, which support your journey of transformation and encourages the emergence of the new self. Forgiveness is not always instantaneous. It is often a process requiring patience, reflection, and repeated conscious effort. Each time you forgive, even in small ways, you weaken the grip of the old self and strengthen the foundation for your new identity. By releasing grudges, anger, and guilt, you open the door for peace, joy, and creative energy to flow into your life, inviting experiences and opportunities that align with the person you are becoming. In this way, forgiveness is both a healing practice and a powerful tool for self-transformation. It allows you to step fully into your power, unencumbered by the past, and to live a life guided by conscious choice, love, and alignment with your highest vision. The act of forgiving transforms not only your internal landscape, but also the reality you experience, because the energy you carry shapes the opportunities, relationships, and outcomes that manifest in your life. Forgiveness, combined with the conscious release of fear, forms a dynamic foundation for the emergence of your new self, freeing you from invisible chains and enabling you to move forward with confidence, clarity, and courage. Change is often the most misunderstood, resisted force in life, yet it is the very catalyst that allows the new self to emerge. Many people approach change with fear, resistance, or skepticism, clinging to what feels familiar even when it no longer serves them. Understanding that change is not a threat but an opportunity is essential for personal transformation. Every ending in life carries within it the seed of a beginning, and the process of embracing change allows those seeds to grow. When you view change as a doorway rather than a disruption, your perspective shifts from anxiety to curiosity, from hesitation to action. Embracing change requires flexibility and a willingness to step into the unknown with faith that the universe is guiding you toward experiences, people, and circumstances that align with your highest good. It demands letting go of attachment to the past, including relationships, environment, or beliefs that no longer support growth, and being willing to explore new paths, perspectives, and ways of being. Change also invites self-discovery. Each transition challenges you to understand your values, strengths, and desires more deeply. It encourages you to examine what truly matters and to make choices that are aligned with your authentic self rather than external expectations or habitual comfort. By embracing change with intention and openness, you allow the old self to fall away naturally while creating space for the emergence of your new identity. The process of change is not always linear or predictable. It often involves periods of uncertainty, discomfort, or even fear. However, these moments are part of the necessary transformation, like the friction that polishes a gem until it shines. When you navigate change with awareness, courage, and trust, you discover resilience, adaptability, and creativity that you may never have known you possessed. Each shift, each adjustment, each conscious decision to welcome change contribute to the unfolding of a life that reflects your highest potential and truest self. By learning to see change as an ally rather than an adversary, you align yourself with the natural rhythm of growth, allowing the new self to rise with strength, clarity, and purpose. Inner strength is cultivated through consistent practice, conscious choice, and the courage to confront challenges without retreating to the old self. Building resilience is not about avoiding difficulty, but about developing the capacity to respond to it with wisdom, patience, and determination. The journey of transformation requires you to face discomfort, uncertainty, and moments of self-doubt. Yet it is precisely in these experiences that inner strength is forged. Each time you choose to persevere rather than surrender, to act with intention rather than react impulsively, you strengthen the foundation upon which your new self can thrive. Inner strength also grows from self-discipline, which is the ability to direct your focus, energy, and action in alignment with your goals and values. Habits, routines, and consistent practices that nurture your mind, body, and spirit contribute to this strength, creating a resilience that enables you to withstand setbacks, criticism, and challenges without losing momentum. Reflection and self-awareness are critical components of cultivating inner strength. By observing your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with honesty and compassion, you gain insight into patterns that may undermine your growth, and learn how to redirect your energy toward constructive and empowering actions. The development of inner strength is intertwined with self-confidence, as each act of courage and deliberate choice reinforces your belief in your own capability. Confidence is not arrogance, it is the quiet assurance that you can navigate life's complexities with clarity, resourcefulness, and composure. Inner strength also involves emotional regulation, the ability to experience feelings fully without being controlled or overwhelmed by them. By developing emotional resilience, you create a stable foundation that allows the new self to emerge unshaken by external turbulence or internal doubt. This stability provides the freedom to make choices that reflect your highest values and aspirations rather than reacting to fear, habit, or pressure. Inner strength enables you to embrace responsibility for your life, to take ownership of your actions, decisions, and outcomes, and to approach challenges with a mindset of growth rather than limitation. It allows you to confront the unknown with courage, to persist through difficulty, and to rise after every setback, increasingly aware of your own power and potential. Cultivating inner strength is an ongoing process that deepens over time, transforming obstacles into opportunities and resistance into momentum. Each day becomes a training ground for resilience, patience, and self-mastery, ensuring that the new self does not simply emerge but emerges with stability, confidence, and an unwavering sense of purpose. Inner strength is the bridge that carries you from the vulnerability of leaving the old self behind to the empowerment of fully inhabiting your new identity, providing the courage, discipline, and emotional fortitude necessary to navigate the journey of transformation successfully. The words you speak have a power far greater than most people realize. Every statement, affirmation, or declaration carries energy that influences your mind, your emotions, and the circumstances around you. Speaking the words of your new self is a conscious act of creation. It is the deliberate choice to define your reality through language rather than allowing past patterns, fears, or limitations to dictate your experience. Words shape thought, and thought shapes action. When you consistently speak words that reflect confidence, abundance, love, and possibility, you are programming your mind to recognize and seize opportunities that align with these intentions. This process requires mindfulness because casual or habitual speech often reinforces old patterns and self-limiting beliefs. Observing your daily language allows you to identify when you are unconsciously affirming fear, doubt, or limitation, and to consciously replace those statements with declarations of empowerment and alignment. Affirmations and positive declarations are not mere wishful thinking, they are tools to rewire your brain and align your energy with the life you desire. Repetition and consistency are key. Each word spoken with intention acts like a seed planted in the fertile ground of your consciousness, gradually growing into visible manifestations in your life. Speaking in alignment with your new self also requires clarity of vision. Before your words can shape reality, you must know who you are becoming, what values you wish to embody, and the life you intend to create. Without this clarity, words can be scattered, inconsistent, or contradictory, weakening their creative impact. By speaking deliberately and consciously, you establish a framework of thought, intention, and energy that supports your growth and transformation. Your words become a tool of empowerment, reinforcing the identity you are building and helping to dissolve the old self that no longer serves you. This practice also strengthens confidence and self-respect as you are actively choosing the narrative of your life rather than being swept along by circumstance or the expectations of others. The act of speaking with awareness and purpose transforms communication into creation, and language becomes a vehicle for the emergence of your new self. Letting go of attachments is a profound and often challenging step in the journey of transformation. The old self is frequently held in place by attachment to people, outcomes, possessions, and beliefs that no longer serve your growth. These attachments create invisible chains that limit your freedom, restrict your energy, and prevent the emergence of your new self. Letting go does not mean abandoning responsibility, connection, or desire. It means releasing the need for control, the insistence on how things should be, and the fear of loss that binds you to the familiar. Attachment often manifests as resistance to change, fear of uncertainty, or clinging to outcomes that may no longer align with your highest good. By releasing attachment, you cultivate freedom, flexibility, and openness, allowing life to flow in alignment with your true purpose. Letting go also requires discernment. Not every connection, goal, or possession is detrimental. The practice is about identifying what hinders your growth and consciously releasing it. This process can evoke discomfort, grief, or anxiety as the mind and heart resist the unfamiliar. Yet this discomfort is temporary and necessary, like the stretching that occurs when a muscle is strengthened. The liberation gained through letting go is immense. It clears mental and emotional space, enabling clarity, creativity, and alignment to emerge. As you release attachment, you also learn to trust in the natural intelligence of life, recognizing that holding on does not create security, but often reinforces stagnation and limitation. Letting go teaches you to act with intention rather than compulsion, to choose freely rather than react habitually, and to engage with life from a place of presence and alignment rather than fear and resistance. It deepens your capacity for love, abundance, and joy because your energy is no longer consumed by clinging or grasping. Each act of conscious release weakens the hold of the old self and strengthens your connection to the freedom, creativity, and power of the new self. In this space of release, you begin to see that life responds to openness, flexibility, and trust. Opportunities that were previously unseen become visible, relationships become more authentic, and your sense of purpose becomes clear. Letting go is both an act of courage and a demonstration of faith in yourself and in the unfolding of your life. It allows you to participate fully in the present moment, unencumbered by the past or fear of the future. It creates the fertile ground necessary for your new self to rise with clarity, strength, and alignment. By embracing the practice of release, you transform attachment into freedom, resistance into acceptance, and limitation into possibility, paving the way for a life that reflects the true essence of who you are becoming. Stepping into your power is one of the most transformative acts you can undertake on the journey of personal growth. The new self cannot fully emerge without the conscious decision to claim authority over your own life. This involves understanding that you are the creator of your reality, that your thoughts, choices, and actions have a profound impact on the world you experience. Stepping into power is not about control over others or over circumstances, but about taking responsibility for your energy, your focus, and your direction. It requires courage to face the truth that no one else can live your life for you, that no external circumstance can dictate your worth, and that every obstacle is an opportunity to demonstrate resilience and mastery. Claiming your power also demands clarity of intention. You must define the values, principles, and vision that guide your life. Without this clarity, power can be misdirected, resulting in actions that reinforce old patterns rather than supporting growth. When you act with deliberate intention, your choices become aligned with the person you are becoming, and your energy is no longer dispersed in futile attempts to control what lies outside your sphere of influence. Stepping into your power also requires the cultivation of self-confidence and self-respect. Confidence emerges when you consistently act in alignment with your values, honor your boundaries, and acknowledge your accomplishments. Respecting yourself signals to the world that you value your time, energy, and presence, creating an environment where your new self can flourish. It also strengthens your resilience, as you become less susceptible to the influence of negativity, criticism, or fear. The process of stepping into power is ongoing and requires vigilance. Old patterns of doubt, procrastination, and self-limitation may attempt to reassert themselves, and moments of uncertainty or external pressure will test your commitment. Each time you reaffirm your power, you reinforce the foundation of your new self, solidifying the habits, beliefs, and mindset necessary for sustained transformation. True power is also rooted in integrity and authenticity. When your actions are aligned with your inner truth, you operate from a place of genuine strength rather than ego-driven force. This alignment allows you to influence circumstances and relationships positively, not through manipulation or domination, but through presence, clarity, and intentional action. Claiming your power transforms fear into confidence, hesitation into decisive action, and limitation into possibility, establishing the groundwork for a life that reflects your highest potential and deepest purpose. Living in alignment with your vision is the culmination of the process of transformation. It is the practice of ensuring that every thought, word, and action reflects the identity, values, and life you intend to create. Alignment requires clarity, consistency, and commitment, as well as the willingness to continue. Evaluate whether your daily choices support the larger vision of who you are becoming. Without alignment, even the most profound intentions can become diluted by distraction, doubt, or conflicting priorities. Living in alignment is about integrating your internal understanding of your new self with the external expression of your life. It requires that you act deliberately, make conscious choices, and maintain integrity across all areas of life, from relationships and career to health and personal development. This alignment fosters authenticity, ensuring that your actions reflect your true values rather than societal expectations or conditioned behaviors. It also reinforces resilience, as living in alignment provides a stable foundation from which to navigate challenges and uncertainty. When your vision is clearly defined and consistently acted upon, it creates a magnetic force that draws experiences, opportunities, and relationships in harmony with your highest intentions. Alignment is both an internal and external process. Internally, it involves cultivating clarity of purpose, emotional coherence, and a mindset that supports growth and manifestation. Externally, it requires evaluating whether your environment, habits, and social connection reflect and support your vision, and making necessary adjustments to maintain congruence. Living in alignment also strengthens your ability to recognize and see opportunities that resonate with your highest potential while discerning and releasing situations that no longer serve your growth. It deepens your connection to yourself, fostering self-trust and confidence. As you witness the consistent translation of intention into reality, the practice of alignment is not a static achievement, but a continuous journey of reflection, adjustment, and conscious action. Each decision and behavior becomes an opportunity to reinforce the life you are creating, ensuring that the emergence of your new self is fully realized and sustainable. Alignment transforms intention into manifestation, potential into reality, and vision into lived experience. By living in alignment with your highest vision, you embody the qualities, values, and identity of the new self, creating a life that is authentic, empowered, and in harmony with the deeper purpose for which you were born.